Okay, so tonight I'm going to anoint an icon, and to anoint it means that we're going to use different oils on it, and it will act as a varnish, and it will keep the icon uh, beautiful for a long, long time. I've heard up to 100 years, which is crazy. It even says after it's been anointed and the paint is cured, you can even put it outside, but I don't know that I would ever go that far. We have refined linseed oil, and it's been purified, and then I also have linseed stand oil. And so these are the two oils that you use to anoint. I also have water on the stove, and I'm going to use, we call it a Bain Marie or a double broiler, whichever, you know, makes the most sense for you. And when you put the oils in, a lot of times there's humidity and temperature things you're supposed to pay attention to. But I usually just do 1-to-1. If you want the specifics on that, you can go to Betsy Porter's icon website. It's got a lot of good information on it. So I usually just blunk some in to my Bain Marie or my double broiler. There's that one. And then I just try to do about as much of each. Now you saw that the stand was very, very thick, and so you can see how the viscosity difference in that. And the water's almost boiling in here. I want all of this to heat up and be about the same consistency. We can stir it, that certainly helps. I've got a little spoon here that's handy. It doesn't take much to anoint an icon. The one I'm doing today, I believe that the board is an 8x10, and I think that I've maybe used a capful of them. It's not much. Oops, I actually poured some into the water. It looks like we're actually all the same now. We can no longer see the stand being different than the purified version. So at this point, I think that it's okay to use. So we're gonna walk over to the icon. Some people, oh, I should probably turn off the stove. Hold on, let me turn off the stove. There you go. And I have my icon set over here. So this is the icon I'm gonna anoint today. Let me put this on my stand so that you can see. Make this so it's the right side up for you all. And zoom out. I'm not great with the videographer part of this but anyhow, there's our icon. And when we anoint the icon, we make the sign of the cross in the air with the oil, and then we make the sign of the cross on the icon itself. And you want to make sure that there's no dust here, and you might even want to make sure that the heat or the air conditioning is off, because it might blow things around. I have pets, so I feel like cat fur and dog fur is part of every one of my icons. But anyhow, here we go. So you just kind of, in the shape of a cross, pour the oil right onto the icon, gold and everything. And then you take your hands and you start to work the oil around. I do not push hard. I gently touch the board. I do not want to make any of the paint move. I've let this sit for a good week, and longer is better, but I have the next icon ready to go. So there's always something going on here. You want to make sure the whole thing is covered, and you can put the extra oil on if you have any to make sure it's covered. You also want to get the sides. Let's see. I'm just going to run my hands across. If you have reds on your board, reds are very likely to run. So far my hand is clean. I don't have a lot coming off on my hand, which means that I've waited an appropriate amount of time for this icon. And it looks like I have just enough oil. It's actually nice to have some extra, because you're going to see that different parts of your board are going to eat up the oil. just let it soak, it'll soak it right up, and it'll look like you didn't put any oil on at all. And then other parts the oil will pool. I tend to find that spots that have been worked or maybe even overworked, a lot of times won't take the oil as well. Okay, so I've got all the sides done. You'll find that the icon to me is its most beautiful right after it's been oiled. All right, and see if I can get the light to show you, like, you can see how there's oil everywhere. It is gonna, see how that spot there doesn't, looks dry, and I'll oil it again. So I'm gonna check it every once in a while, maybe every 5-10 minutes. Like here's a spot over here that needs it as well. And just keep rubbing it around. Just like that. Again, you don't want any dust. And we're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes. And after it's sat for 15 minutes, then we're gonna come back and see what's going on. All right, so that's the first part of anointing an icon. And obviously this is a great time to pray. In this case, it's Mary and Jesus. So, you know, I could say a Hail Mary, or I'm, you know, making this icon for a particular person. I could keep them in my prayer. The anointing of the icon is, you know, more than just oiling it. It's an anointing, which makes it special. And then you can have it blessed and things too if you'd like, but anybody can anoint the icon. Okay, so you'll let this sit for about 15 minutes and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've come back and you can see how some places have soaked it up and other places it's pooled. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to add any more oil. There's plenty of oil on this. I'm just going to take my hands and just even it out again. And again, you don't want to push so hard that you're moving paint around. We just want to spread the oil over the whole board. It's really awesome to like get your hands in it, and I don't know, it feels good to have it on your hands. It's a great smell, and it makes a good lotion, I suppose. It's a good day when you're anointing. So there's that. So I'm gonna do that, I don't know, 3 or 4 times for about an hour total. It'll be, I'll just smear it around like this. And then after an hour of it sitting, I'm gonna start taking the excess oil off. I wanna give it lots of opportunity to like soak in and work its magic. So, alrighty, that's that. So do that maybe, I don't know, 4 times total, every 15 minutes until we get to an hour. And then we're gonna start removing. So I'll see you then. Okay, so it's sat for about an hour. What I'm gonna do next is just take my hand and rub it across and then wipe the excess oil off onto a towel. So my hand's full of oil, wipe it off, go back. Again, the reds are the ones that are gonna run, if anything, so a lot of times I'll push my hands away towards from like gold to red so that the red doesn't run onto the gold, but this has so much red everywhere, there's no way to avoid it. So luckily my colors have cured, and I'm gonna keep doing this until it's dry. And so I'll come back every now and then and take some oil off. And I don't know, you'll see some places get completely dry. Sometimes I'll just keep smearing it around. But other times too, if there's gold, like a gold halo, I may even take my microfiber cloth and wipe the gold off. But this is mica, so it's not gold leaf. So I'm not going to do that today, but if I had a gold halo here, I would take my microfiber cloth and just wipe the gold, not hard, just enough to get the excess oil off, because it tends to get gunky sometimes if you leave the oil on the gold halo itself. And so that's all you have to do to anoint the icon. Boy, she looks pretty. Alrighty. Thanks for watching.